everyone, and welcome to this episode of Discovering Laguna Woods. I'm Cindy Whitney, and today we're going to be out in the village. We're going to be going to Garden Center number 2, where we will meet up with Claudia Myres, and she's going to tell us about the benefits of tending a garden. Then we're going to travel over to Clubhouse 2, and we are going to be joining a drum circle. It's going to be fabulous, it's going to be rambunctious and raucous, and it's going to be a great time. Two very different stories. So stay with us, won't you? We're coming right back. Stay right there. Hi everyone. We are now in the number 2 Garden Center, which is located on Via Campo Verde, across from the Aldi Shopping Center. And we are here and we're going to be visiting Claudia Myres, who is a very accomplished gardener, and she's waiting in the doorway now of her garden plot. Hi Claudia, how are you?
Hi Cindy, can't wait to show you my garden.
Oh, I think you're an amazing person just to even have a garden in the first place, but I want to know about all of your successes and everything about your garden. So can we step inside?
Sure, come on in.
All right, we're going in. So let me ask you, first of all, how long have you been gardening here in Laguna Woods?
Ooh, in Laguna Woods, about 10 or 11 years. Quite a while.
And I guess if you were going to speak to somebody coming in here the first time and they were going to be gardening, what would be something that you learned that first couple of years?
Oh dear, lots. A new gardener tends to plant food that they don't even like. And too much food. So you're sharing a lot of your food. And then by the next couple of years you learn, no, I don't like that, so I'm not going to plant that this year, you know.
No kidding. So also, I mean, what are the dimensions of your plot?
I have no idea. It's pie shaped, that's all I know.
Okay.
It's 2 plots though.
It's 2 plots, and you are able to grow a great deal, a great variety,
Yes.
and a great deal because some of what you're planting grows up.
Yes, a lot of it grows up. That way you have more space to plant more vegetables.
Okay, so here we are. It's September, October. We're coming to those months, and everybody's saying the garden season is over, and you say, not so fast. What are you planting now?
Well, it's still really warm, so you can plant another tomato or 2 if you want. Try that. It might produce. The berries are still doing fine, but I'm going to start changing over to winter vegetables like broccoli and lettuces and cauliflower and Brussels sprouts, things like that, when it gets a little cooler.
So please forgive my ignorance about this, but how long does it take after you plant, say, broccoli and Brussels sprouts and different lettuces for them to grow and be harvested?
I would say maybe a few months to good size. You don't want to pick them too young because then if you wait, you get a better abundance of vegetables.
So there's a wonderful payoff. I know that I have eaten some sampled vegetables that come out of these gardens when they have a fair, when they're sharing those things. And I realize I haven't tasted a real tomato in a long time. Is that the experience you have?
Yes, the tomatoes are sweet. You can taste them. They're wonderful. Once you have a garden tomato, you can't go buy it at the store anymore.
Right. And you shared with me that you're in very good health as a result of this garden.
Oh, yes. It's very good. You don't have to rely on pills or anything like that. Just eat fresh food.
Oh, my gosh. I think that's great. But, let's talk about the fact that there are protocols here. I mean, it's a shared space, and everybody needs to play by the established protocols and rules. And what would be some of the things that people need to keep in mind when they come here?
Well, you're supposed to keep your garden up. I lucked out and got cement walkways around my garden, but you're supposed to keep the weeds out of your walkways on the outside of your garden. No trees in the vegetable plots. We do have a tree plot for fruit trees and things like that. Just try to save as much water as possible because that's very important right now.
And no pesticides.
No, most of us are organic gardeners.
That's great. And so, you live with little critters. I mean, it's nature, so they come in and go and so forth. But one of the things that I know that you said the pesticides will endanger the good animals that visit you, like bees and birds and butterflies. So that's another reason not to use pesticides.
Right, exactly. I have a butterfly bush for the caterpillars and everything, and I have little places with water for the lizards. I buy a bag of ladybugs every year. Hopefully, some of them stay.
Yes. What are some of the benefits to you besides good health and eating wonderful food? Is there something else that happens as a result of being a gardener?
Yes, it's very inexpensive therapy. It's wonderful. I worked for 45 years in the air industry, and I worked in the cement jungle, so coming home on days off to play in the dirt and smell the good smells and the greenery is wonderful, wonderful.
It seems like it was the opposite of everything else you were doing in your daily life.
Yes, very much so.
So you've been a gardener for a long time, and you said that your mom.
Yes, my mother kind of put the bug into me when I was very young.
That's wonderful. Well, I guess what I would want to know is, what would you say to somebody that has moved here, heard about these wonderful plots that we have, both of them, plus the tree plot, and you're also telling me we have a succulent area for bromeliads and different succulents. What would this person need to do? How would they inquire about doing this?
Come to the office. We have an office right here on the grounds, and put your name on the list.
Okay, and this is under the purview of the recreation department in Laguna Woods, right?
Yes, that's right.
So come here. There's a little red house, look like a little farmhouse. It's beautiful, and they will give you all the information and so forth, and tell you how long a wait. And I guess it can be.
Yes. Or you can maybe go in with someone else. I think they allow that.
Oh, that's interesting. So you can share a plot with somebody. If this all of a sudden becomes too much, perhaps, for somebody, and they say, boy, I have some extra land here, would somebody like to grow something?
Yes, it is a lot of work. I would suggest you be dedicated or give your plot up because it's a lot of work.
I think devotion sort of comes to mind, because rain or shine or whatever, you need to be over here to tend. This is not going to tend itself.
Right, especially in this heat. I'm coming every day in the really hot weather, and in the winter you can come every 4 days, but you do have to tend to it.
Well, is there anything else that you can think of while we're here? We're going to be looking around at some of the other plots and what other people are planting, because I guess everybody wants to grow something that they will include in their diet or in their life, so they want to grow their own. What would be something that we should know about the area?
Well, it's just wonderful. I mean, hawks come in. I hear the hawks in the big eucalyptus trees daily. The geese come over. So it's a nice place to spend a few hours every day.
So you get to experience some animals as well as your plants, which is nice. It's nature in the middle of a larger community. It's really nice. Well, Claudia Mires, you are a good friend and you are a great gardener, and I thank you so much for taking some of your time today to share all of this information with us. And we will contact the folks if we're interested in getting our own garden plant. And thank you so much. And maybe when they come over there, they'll thank you so much for all the information you gave them.
You're welcome. Very fun. Thanks so much.
Of course. We'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
And we'll be right back. So now I'm speaking with Gail Slayton, who is one of the co-leaders of the Drum Circle today. Hi, Gail. How are you?
Hi. Oh, I'm doing great.
Yeah,
we just brought in a whole bunch of drums.
Well,
and
it's
we're
a
ready
warm
to go.
day, and you've been running back and forth from the car to bring all of these big instruments into the room for us all. Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
So tell us a little bit about your Drum Circle background.
Well, I've been drumming for the last 10 years, and I joined a drum circle in Tucson, and I met Don there about 5 years ago, and we became a couple, and the rest is history. But he's a wonderful drum teacher, and he's was kind of the head of the drum circle that was there before, so he could tell you more.
Well, he will. But you have a partnership where you do some of the administrative. This is I don't know if it's a business, but it certainly is a thriving club here in the village. And I know that it was in Tucson, and you have YouTube videos and so forth. So you're helping out with all of those things too.
Absolutely. And we did a drum circle last summer when we were just renting here, and then of course we just loved it so much that we bought here. And so, now we're doing it different times, different days, but so it's great.
I imagine that it's hard to book a room because nobody wants to have their meeting next to a drum circle.
Not only that, but people want it in the late afternoon, evening time, and it's all taken. Yes. Always. So what we did was we finally got a room in the village center in the Elm Room, and it's going to be every Tuesday evening, 5:30 to 7, until the end of the year, and after that, hopefully we'll stay in the same place.
And we will post that on the bottom of the screen, and the contact information that you give us, we'll post that on there too, so people can reach you.
Absolutely.
And join your fabulous drum circle. Okay, so let's talk about what's the benefit of being in a drum circle?
Well, it's a community. It's a very healing space because drumming, especially starting with your heartbeat, is something that you can attune to. You can get into the beat. If you're feeling down, it brings you up. If you're angry, you can beat it out. And it's a good way of connecting with other people in the community.
Yes.
So.
I the first time I did, I've been in your circle a few times, and I felt, I kept saying, the word kept going through my mind, this is primal. It's primal. Do other people feel that way?
Absolutely. In fact, as the drum circle progresses, people get up and they dance and just enjoy this. It is a very primal feeling with just drumming. And it's something that's so simple. We all have it within us. You see little kids that are drumming, so anybody can do it. And that's a nice part of it. Other instruments people have to learn, they spend their time.
Right.
But this one, you just join in, and whatever level you're at, it doesn't matter.
Right. And if you make a mistake, nobody can hear you.
Exactly.
In the drum circle, nobody can hear you make a mistake. But it has a good feeling, and it is kind of good exercise too, isn't it?
It is. I've got my Fitbit on, and by the end of that drum circle, I've done like 15,000 steps.
Well, I have to tell you, I have to take my Apple Watch off, though. It's a very different thing because my Apple Watch wants to call the ambulance on me every time I start drumming real hard. So
It's the heart rate up. It's great.
I know. Well, Gail, I want to thank you for coming out of the drum circle for a few minutes to talk to us. I really appreciate it. And we're going to be talking to Don, too. So I really appreciate it. And I can't wait to get in there and play with you.
I'm so glad you're sharing it with the whole community because we want more and more people to enjoy this.
We do, too. Well, thanks very much, and I'll be in a minute.
All right, thank you.
Okay. So now I'm speaking with Don Celestino, who is the drum circle leader. Hi, Don. How are you?
Hi, I'm fine. Thanks for asking.
Yeah, you're starting to work up a sweat in there, huh?
Yeah, I've got the first round in there, and let me see, they're having a great time, and so was I.
Yeah, we could hear them. We actually, Gail was out here, and as the door opened and closed, we could hear the drums get louder.
Oh, yeah.
It's really an amazing thing. What do people tell you why they come to the drum circle?
It seems like everybody has their own reason for wanting to be in a circle like that. And there's probably the same, it would be true of the people who don't want to be there. Some people might feel there's too much loud sounds, whereas the people who are in there feel that those sounds are actually rejuvenating or inspiring, or it's movement of energy in their body, which is really the main thing that's happening in there, is movement and music, of course.
Yeah. It's visceral. Obviously you're hitting something, and I told you the first time when you went around and asked people why they were there, I said, I just want to hit something. Mm-hmm. And it's visceral. You're getting out some of your angst and your anxieties and things, and so it's a healthy thing. So Don, you have some videos online where you're teaching some of the drum beats, and you really break it down. Is that a language of sorts?
Well, it depends who's in the group or who I'm working with. But yes, clearly there's a language there. I'm not quite sure what the question is.
Well, it seems to me that some of these drum rhythms and beats originated with a communication of tribes.
Yes.
Would that be fair to say?
Yeah, my drum teacher used to say the first instrument were sticks.
Yes.
And so rhythm was the first, introduction to
Yes.
to music in the world. And I go along with that because the drum is just another technological advancement that happened back then.
Yes.
And it was more communicative. There was more definition, and they could communicate with people far away with just going on top of a mountain with a drum.
Sure.
In fact, I used to do that in California. I lived in a community with a plateau, which was above everything in the community itself. And so I would go up there at night often and just play by myself in the dark. And the people who lived in the surrounding area would always comment, "Oh, you sounded good last night.
yes.
That was great. We went to sleep with
oh.
your music going up on the hillside."
Well, that's quite special. I also know that there is a circle that meets, I don't know if you go, when there's a full moon.
Oh, yeah.
Down at the beach?
Laguna Beach. Oh, yeah, that's a nice circle. There's a great group of people, all ages, all sizes, and some really good drummers. So it gets, I like it to get a little bit competitive, where you can call and response. If somebody plays a little riff that you like, you play it back to them and see if they respond to that. And then you can expand on it. And that's part of the fun of drumming, is to develop the communication between drummers within
Yes.
the context of just rhythms.
Well, we had a session last week that one of the attendees said this group has a lot of rhythm. Do you see that the groups have a difference in the rhythms that they bring?
Oh, for sure. You bring whatever you had for breakfast, so to speak, or what you've had throughout the day. And sometimes it's something to work through, and other times it's just a point of radiation where you're going to be with friendly people, and we're going to play together. Like as adults, we're going to play together. And no one does anything, nothing's wrong. There isn't a bad mistake that you can make.
Exactly. When I first started, I thought, you, as the leader, would say, "Wait a minute, you were off there. You hit a flat note or something." I have no idea. But anyway, none of that happens. It's all in good fun, and we all have a great time. So,
Right.
so we really appreciate you, and I want to thank you for coming out. I know the circle is going on a little bit without you in there, and gosh knows what could be happening. So you better get back
can
in.
feel it
I
in
can
there,
feel
yeah.
it. They've gone awry. But anyway, I'm going to go in and join you now. So thank you very much. And this is just a fabulous thing that you brought to the village, and I hope everybody gives it a try at least once. It is
Come on
spectacular.
down, wherever you are.
I
in
know.
Laguna Woods, come on down.
It's spectacular. And thank you, and we will be right back. I have Denise Vio now. She has come out of the drum circle and has agreed to answer a couple of questions that I have. Hi, Denise. How are you today?
Real good. It's warm, but it's air conditioned in there, so when we move around, we can handle it.
Yeah, exactly. And I hear a lot of moving around in there, a lot of sound coming out. So you tell me, how many times have you come to this particular drum circle?
This is probably my 8th time here.
Yeah.
We've varied our meeting times a little bit.
Yes.
Afternoon, we're going to evening starting in September, so
Yes.
that'll be nice.
Yes, and I spoke with Gail about that, and we're going to post it on the screen so that people know, so that other people can say, I really want to attend that, where is it and what time, so forth. So now to have come 8 times, and I'm assuming you're going to come back, what benefits do you get from this?
It's relaxing in the long run, even though you want to say it's energizing as well, because you're beating, you're with the rhythm. When you really get into it, it's like you're zoning out, and your hands do what they're supposed to do without you're even thinking about it. Sometimes it takes a while to get into that zone, and I don't even always get into that zone, but when you do, it's like, probably like catching a good wave or something like that this is why we're here.
I so agree with you. I mean, you articulated that so well. It's like you're not even quite sure where these hand movements are coming from.
Yes, when you're in the zone.
Yeah.
The rest of the time, if you look around at someone else, or me, it might throw you off, and it's like, oh, okay, well, let's go back to just the heartbeat.
Yes.
and get it. And if you're not feeling in the mood to really be energetic, you just do the heartbeat, and it's fulfilling somehow.
Yes.
It sounds weird.
I know. I think people aren't aware of how improvisational it is and how spontaneous it is. There's a basic beat usually that the drum leader will start with, and everybody, it kind of goes around till we get the beat, and then somebody will embellish it a little bit and somebody else will, and it just moves and it has its own life, it seems.
Yes, yeah, we're here at the last circle
Yes.
that I was at, so
Yes.
you probably experienced that.
Yeah, I love it. It's something that you really can't describe to people. And the sound of drums, I think it just comes from when we're little kids and we banged on things. So it
Very
comes back.
natural, isn't it?
It
yeah,
is. It
yeah,
really is.
primal.
Primal,
As
tribal.
well. Right, yeah,
Yeah,
it can be tribal.
Yep. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. So, is there anything that you'd say out there to people in the village that are thinking, well, I don't know, it's noisy, I know that, but what else would I get out of it?
It's very non-threatening. The group here is welcoming. You don't have to talk if you don't want to talk. We introduce ourselves at the beginning, but really, if you just want to sit there and go like this your first couple of times, it's fine.
Yes, I've seen people do that. They have a drum that may have a stick that hits some. But there's other percussion instruments too. We didn't even mention that. There's bells and there's tambourines and there's all sorts of shakers and things with seeds in them and sticks and everything.
Yes.
You can just shake those and add to the percussive sounds
Right,
of the.
and Gail and Don bring all of those, so there's plenty of instruments to go around. Even if you wanted to bring your own shaker, if you have that, or just something favorite at home,
Yes, exactly.
you can bring that along too.
Exactly. Well, I must have shaken my hand because my Apple Watch went off.
Okay. I know. I have to take my Fitbit off when I'm drumming because then I get too many steps, and it's like, wow, I really did good today.
I know, it's really funny. Electronics meets the drum circle. But anyway, thank you so much for coming out, Denise. I
Okay.
appreciate your
Thanks.
time, and thanks
Thanks.
for sharing your feelings about
Okay.
being in a drum circle.
A lot of people join us as a
Oh,
result.
I do too. And thank you so much. And we'll be right back. Thanks for watching us today as we explore the fun of joining a drum circle. Thank you very much to Gail and Don and all the circle participants. And we also had a great time working with Claudia Myers, who told us about having a multi-seasonal garden. And thanks very much for the tomatoes, Claudia. They were delicious. And thank you for watching us every Wednesday and Sunday morning at 9:30 a.m. on Village Television, and watching us anytime you want to on Village Television YouTube. We hope that you're taking good care of yourselves and everybody around you, because we all benefit when we take care of each other. See you next time. Bye-bye.